Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Sandoval here. Welcome to your second singing assembly online. The first part of our assembly this week will be to revisit the song we started learning last week. It's called A Little Bit of Kindness, and you can find a link to it in the description box below. The great thing about singing assembly is that you can build up a collection or a repertoire, that's the fancy musical word for it, of songs that you know really well and that you can sing on a regular basis. This is something we'll do when we're all back together in school and we can sing our collection of songs together in a real life singing assembly. But for now, we'll focus on building up our online collection. So pause the video here and have a sing through last week's song as a warm-up. Our topic for this week's assembly is the word blessing. When I looked in the dictionary, the definition of blessing was a good thing or a good gift that comes to you, that is beneficial to you, that is very positive for you. Some people believe that this gift comes from God. There are two ways that I'd like us to think about the word blessing this week. The first way is to think about being grateful for blessings in our lives. And the second way is to think about being a blessing to other people. So I'll give a quick example for each of these points, and then I'd like you to pause this video and talk to your kingdom friends in your kingdom or your family members at home about these two ideas. So a blessing that I'm really grateful for is the ability to read, because I feel really blessed that I've grown up in a country where I could go to school for free. And I could learn to read because it's something that I use every single day, all the time. I'm reading things around me in the room, I'm reading things on my phone, I read road signs to keep me safe, I read the news, I can read stories. Reading is so important, and some children around the world don't get the opportunity to go to school, or maybe they can go to school but they have to pay for it, and it's really difficult. And some children don't get the chance to learn to read, and I think that's really difficult and really sad. So I feel really blessed that I am able to read. A way I could be a blessing to other people. So let's think about how I could do that. Well, if my brother was struggling with his homework, I might be able to help him. Maybe I've done that piece of work before, something similar. And rather than ignoring him and thinking, no, he can do it himself, I could say, hey, I could help you with that. And I would be a blessing to him. I would be really helpful. That's kind of similar to when we were thinking about being kind last week. So maybe there will be some similar ideas there. Now, when I think of the word blessing, I think of the story of Joseph. Now, this is a story that is very old. It's thousands of years old, and we see it in the Bible. So it's important to Christians and Jews, and it also we can also find it in the Quran. It's the story of Yusuf in the Quran, and there might be some differences between them, but I believe that the message is more or less the same. So I'll just give a quick overview of the story of Joseph. Joseph grew up with 11 brothers, and when his brothers decided that they were very jealous of him and they didn't like him anymore, they sent him away to Egypt to be a slave, and he had a terrible time in Egypt. Eventually, by working really hard, he was able to become a really important politician in Egypt, really. He was very powerful, and he was sort of the assistant to the king, the pharaoh of Egypt. And in the end, he was able to be reunited with his family, and he forgave his brothers, and they realised that they'd done wrong to him. And in the end, he was able to be free. He wasn't a slave anymore. So I think there are lots of different ways we can think about blessing in this story. Joseph was a blessing to everybody he met, even though he was going through really hard times. He still tried his best, and he tried to be thoughtful. Even when other people were horrible to him, he tried to be thoughtful and respectful, and he tried his best to be a blessing to other people. Also, Joseph went through some really difficult times for a long period of his life. There was a time when he was in prison for 13 years, for something that wasn't his fault and that he hadn't done. But in the end, that difficult time was finished, and then there was a time of blessing for him. So I think that's a good lesson for us, that even though we might be in a really hard time now, if we persevere, we hope that things will change, and that after the difficult time there'll be a time of blessing. So you can look more into the story of Joseph. That was just a really quick overview, but I think it's really interesting because you can think about the idea of blessing in lots of different ways. Okay, let's look at our song this week. It's called Count Your Blessings, and it's about being grateful for the things that you have in your life that are good things. So let me find my starting note. So I'll sing through the first couple of lines and then I'll stop and I'll sing them again, and you can have an opportunity to join in with me. Oh, before I do that, I should explain there are 3 parts of this song. The section 1, which is here, the section 2, which we'll go to in a bit, and section 3. The style is really, really catchy. The style is, I'd say it's a mix between reggae and calypso, which are 2 Caribbean genres of music. And you can hear the calypso rhythm if you have a listen to the full song after this video. And the calypso rhythm goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can have a go at clapping along with the rhythm too if you'd like. That's a feature that makes it really clear that it's a calypso song. So the first section goes like this: if you're feeling sad and weary and you're down in the dumps, down in the dumps, down in the dumps. I'll go back to the beginning. If you're feeling sad and weary and you're down in the dumps, down in the dumps, down in the dumps. And the next bit's very similar. Let me check my note. If you're feeling sad and weary and you're down in the dumps, and then we're going to go up high. There's something you can do. I'll do that last line again, see if you can join in. There's something you can do. Okay, rewind that if you need to go through that again. Section 2 goes a bit like this. It's a bit higher this time. Don't be grumpy. Don't go. No, it doesn't. Don't be grumpy. Don't go on and on. Don't be grumpy. Don't you spoil the fun. I'll do that again because I messed up the video there a bit. Sorry. It goes, don't be grumpy. Don't go on and on. Don't be grumpy. Don't you spoil the fun. So you can see it's got this rhythm that kind of jumps around a bit, and that's called syncopation. That's a very fancy musical word that means it kind of jumps across some of the beats. But you'll see how it all fits together later on. And the third part goes like this. It's quite high. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. So let me sing that again and see if you can join in this time. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. So you'll see that the part 1 of the song is the lowest part. If you're feeling sad and weary and you're down in the dumps. And then the second part goes, don't be grumpy. So it's kind of in the middle. And then the third part goes, count your blessings. So that's the highest part. So you've got this really nice texture that kind of covers the low, middle and high pitches. Now you'll see in the song that you can sing them all, you sing them through individually, and then in the later part of the song, they get all put together and kind of mixed up at the same time, and it sounds really good when you put the different sections together. So what you can do is you can choose which part you like best, and you can just keep singing that part and see how it kind of weaves together with the other parts. So sing each part through with the music, then choose your favourite part and keep singing that until you get to the end. If you click on the second video in the description box below, you'll see that there is a link to the full song, so you can have a go at singing that. Now, to end our assembly, I'm going to say a prayer that is a blessing from the older part of the Bible. So it's a part of the Bible that is read by Christians and Jewish people. And if you recognise the words, it might be because you've seen a sung version of this a lot on YouTube recently. Virtual Choir at Mosborough has done a version, and I'll put a link to that too, so you can have a look at that. But these are really, really old words, thousands of years old, words of blessing, and I'm going to say them now. You don't have to join in. If you'd like to join in, you can say Amen at the end. That just means I agree. So, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. Bye, everybody.